Good evening, it's Dave Sadler, it's Thursday, it's 8 p.m, and it's the Big Metal Detecting Podcast.
Welcome to the Big Metal Detecting Podcast.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Dave Sadler here with another edition of the Big Metal Detecting Podcast. Tonight's guest joining us shortly, Scott and Kimmie Dubay. Hope you've all had a fantastic week. Myself and Luke, we had it was an exceptional weekend, to be honest. We got invited along to the National Council for Metal Detecting meeting in Northampton, and it was very, very eye-opening. I can't really tell you much because most of it I can't remember because there was just so much information to be given. But one of the things that, a couple of the things I did want to give mention to, next year is the 40th anniversary of the National Council for Metal Detecting. So there's quite a few things planned throughout the country, both regionally and obviously nationally. Again, can't give you any information because, it'll spoil it really. So for now, we'll keep that as it is. Secondly, one of the things that was mentioned at the meeting was by a gentleman called William Hargreave, who is both, I was so jealous of his beard and I was also so jealous of his waistcoat, it was untrue. Proper dapper gent, proper northerner, really, really nice bloke. John is, I think he's the chairman of the Northwestern region. Apologies if I'm wrong on that, but I think he's the chairman of the Northwestern region of the National Council of Metal Detecting in the UK. And he spoke at length about green waste. Now, obviously, being metal detectorists listening tonight, probably, more than likely, we all have an issue when it comes to this. It's absolutely horrendous, green waste. I mean, I went out on a dig about 3 weeks ago now, which was we expected it to be brilliant. All expectations were that it was going to be fantastic. Unfortunately, not even known to the organisers. Not long before, the farmer had actually bought some compost and it was riddled with green waste. So it was. It didn't end up as the greatest day, to be fair, but with all due respect, the organiser, he done his utmost to try and make everybody happy, and given that a lot of people were privy to the conversation with the farmer, it was no fault of the organisers in any way, shape or form. So it was nasty. I thought to myself, right, I'm going to go right down the far end. I'm going to crack on. So I walked over, got about 2/3 way across the field, and unfortunately at that point, lo and behold, put my metal detector down and ping, 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 constant green waste. So William spoke at length about this, and some of the things that the National Council for Metal Detecting are doing to try and stop this. The people putting the green waste onto the ground. One of the things that we did discuss was an app. Now, I've not heard of this app before. It's called What 3 Words, and if I'm right in saying that the app, you can pinpoint you exactly as to where you are. It's unique to give you 3 meters square in the world. So you can, I'm not sure how you would chronicle what you're doing, but you'd be able to pinpoint where you are and put green waste, and then all this information will be able to get taken and put into a database where this could be made into a map, and we can all see where the green waste is, so we don't get stung in it. Because it is an issue, and hopefully in the new year, because it looks like I've covered up to now till just after Christmas, but in the new year we're hoping to have William lost his last name now. William will be on anyway in the new year to discuss the issue of green waste, which I'm sure everybody will want to to listen to and see what the National Council for Metal Detecting will, or William on his own, are doing to get rid of this issue anyway. So, on to tonight's... news tonight. There's one bit of news. I can't actually find it, but Luke's tipped me off to it just before the show. 25 gold coin hoard have been found somewhere in the UK. Again, I'm sorry I can't give you any more information, but if any of the listeners have heard this and you could give me a shout in the chat room tonight, that would be fantastic. So, tonight's guest. We've spoke numerously in the past. They're always supporting us in the chat room, both on the All Metal Mode UK and ourselves at the Big Metal Detecting Podcast. They've supported the Archaeology and Metal Detecting magazine. They've written for the Archaeology and Metal Detecting magazine. And now they're making great strides on their own with their YouTube channel. So, good evening to Scott and Kimmie Dubay. How are we?
Hi, good evening.
Hello, how are you?
Not bad. How are yourself?
Fantastic.
Very good, Dave. Nice to see you. Nice to hear you.
Nice to see me.
Nice to hear you.
Stop shouting, Scott, as well. Kimmie's coming across all lovely on me levels and you're shouting.
All right, I'll back away. I'll back away from the mic. No problem.
Actually just a bit better. So if anybody can, I think I've actually got tonight, finally, all the levels are right. The equipment's working. Everything is working correctly. So excellent.
Excellent. Congratulations on your first proper communication.
Working podcast where the sound doesn't go Pete Tong.
That's right.
I'm going to get straight into the questions.
Cool.
I'm desperate to know, I've known you both a while now, an American in England and a Northern Irish lady in England. How did you meet?
I actually went over to America for a holiday. And the restaurant I went in, Scott was the chef.
Oh.
Now, apparently, his hot wings was meant to be the hottest in the USA. Now, I like my hot pepper sauce, without a doubt. And he said, these are the hottest. You'll not be able to cope and not be able to eat them. I scoffed him. I scoffed him. And he actually came out from the kitchen and complimented me. And then from there, sort of that was my regular restaurant, being over there on holiday.
Yeah.
And it just kicked off from there.
Yeah, so...
what you're actually saying is that the Americans, what we all see on telly, saying it's the hottest thing in the world, they've never been to England.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, Scott, carry on.
No, it's all right. It's you get 2 free employee drinks after work. So one of the several days that she was there, I came out to get my free drinks, after my shift drinks, and she was at the end of the bar, and I just approached her and started speaking to her, and
I kidnapped him.
And she went back to England, and we ended up Skyping for a while. And then she invited me over, and in 2009, I popped up in Gants Hill on Christmas Eve, and the rest is history.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
God help me.
I called her from Gants Hill, which is in Eastern London, and I tried to prank her, and I said I'm sorry, my flight's been canceled. She goes, you're lying to me because you're calling me from a British phone number. And I didn't know you could the number I was calling from. She said, where are you? And I said, I'm in Gants Hill. She says, don't move. And she came and scooped me up. And that was that. That was Christmas 2009.
And as I say, the rest is history.
The rest is history. History in the making.
Yeah.
So you've lived in England for now 10 years. Well, obviously you would have gone back. How long have you lived in England for yourself, Scott?
I've been in here almost 9 years. 9 wonderful years.
And Kimmie, obviously from being in Northern Ireland, how long have you been in the UK, in England itself?
34 years now.
And you've still got the accent.
Oh my goodness! It's like your accent, Dave. Do you mean it? You never break it. Do you mean it's too
honest to God, right? One of my closest friends, she it must be a similar timescale. She moved to Australia, and she's completely Australian now. And I have to rip her to pieces every time we speak for trying to be Australian. She's completely and utterly Australian in her accent.
But my family think I'm English. When I speak to my family, they go, "My God, are you English?" And I'm like, "No, no, not at all." You know what I mean? But people over here say, "My God, your accent's strong." You know what I mean? But it's a very Northern Ireland. You know what I mean? Is a very strong accent to get rid of. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, it's not.
I had a real hard New York City accent, and I don't really speak to anybody else but Kim, and she's from Northern Ireland, so she's rubbed off on me, and I got a lot of my people in my family saying I sound like I'm from Canada. So I don't know how all that happened.
So where in the US are you from, Scott?
I'm from New York. I was born in upstate New York, 3 hours north of the city, and then I moved to the city for my remaining years into the big concrete jungle. But I had enough of that. Too many people. It's just too many people. It's a lot of people.
Whereabouts in Northern Ireland are you from, Kimmie?
A little place called East Belfast, Newton Ards Road, originally.
Mad how you've come together over so far. And that leads me on to my next question. You've been in the UK for that long, and I've known you for around 3 years.
Yeah.
How long have you been metal detecting?
As long as you've known us?
Yeah.
A little bit longer than you've known us?
Yeah.
And how did you get into the hobby?
Well, the thing is, like, right up, if you remember the London riots.
Yeah.
Well, I was in a predominantly. No, you weren't there. You weren't the cause of it. I know, I understand. But I said, this is, I just got into the country, and this is my first impression. This doesn't happen in New York, but it's happening in London. I said, you know what, let's just get up and move out to a little bit something more quieter. So we actually moved to South Wales for 3 years. And it's nothing but green fields and sheep out there, and it was really not a whole lot to do, Dave, I'll be honest with you. And one day I was walking through this little town that we lived in, and I went into the charity shop. And in the back of the charity shop, there was I never thought about it. I was like, hey, let's find out. There was a little metal detector for sale for like 30 quid. It was an old Fisher 1265X. And it didn't work. So I talked the lady down on price. I said, well, I can't give you 30 quid for an electronic item that doesn't work. I said, I'll give you 15. She said, fine. So I got it home. I cleaned up the battery terminals, and I popped in those 8 AA batteries, 8 of them. Yes, it was. And it turned on. It started beeping. So you know what? I said, fine. I went down to the local beach, and I started pulling up a couple coins here and there. And I said, wow, this is amazing. You know what I mean? So from that point on, I'll be honest with you, I've just been hooked on it. And I have a friend that did some inland detecting, and he lived by and had permissions right next to a Norman castle in Kidwelly, where it's just riddled with Norman castles in South Wales, of course. And he took me inland. I started finding like trade tokens and just really stuff that you're not going to find on the beach, older stuff. And it just piqued my interest. And you know what I mean? It's still piquing my interest to this day. It's amazing what metal detecting can do to you.
And Kimmie, were you, did you share the machine, or did you come on later?
No, I come on later.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The first time Scott went down to the beach with the fisher, I sat in the car because I felt like his spade holder when he went out with the metal detector by himself. Do you know what I mean? So I would carry his spade like my handbag. So I sat in the car. So Scott was no longer 10 minutes on the beach, and he's come waltzing up with this ring stuck to his finger. Look what I found! Look what I found! And I've gone, oops, thank you very much. So I come off his finger, went on my finger. And then after that, do you know what I mean? I love history anyway, Dave. Do you know what I mean? I absolutely adore history. He had gone out with Christopher a few times, and they were metal detecting. And then I had a stroke. So, I mean, when you have a stroke, obviously you've got to go back to the hospital for rehabilitation, exercise. Do you know what I mean? Blah blah blah, whatever. And it was coming up my birthday, so Scott had asked me, "Kim, what do you want?" I said, "I want a metal detector."
To my shock.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So my first metal detector was the wonderful yellow stick, the Garrett Ace 250.
Yeah.
So I got it, and when I had the stroke. Do you know what I mean? Scott would take me out with the metal detector. I couldn't walk very far, and I couldn't swing very far, and I couldn't dig at all. Do you know what I mean? So Scott would dig for me. I'd walk a couple of feet, and he would dig for me. And this has been the standing joke from that day to this day, that every time he digs for me, he digs me up a silver coin. And every time when I ask him now, dig for me, he goes, "No, I am not digging for you ever again."
Yeah, because now you can dig your own holes.
Digging for you ever again in your life. So when I'd had to go back to see the main stroke doctor, there was 2 students in the room with him. And when I went back, he was asking me, "How come you're getting your strength back so quickly?" We don't think it was a major stroke. We don't know if it was a major stroke or not. You know what I mean? But I turned around and I said to him, "I'm out swinging." Well, Dave, the look in his face, the 2 students, their jaw dropped. Do you know what I mean? And they just killed themselves laughing. Do you know what I mean? And he looked at me, he was swinging. And I went, "Not your kind of swinging, my kind of swinging." Do you know what I mean? And he went, "What's that?" And I went, "Metal detecting." Well, he actually said, "You know what? What a fantastic idea." It was because you're using your arm, you're using your legs, you're using everything to get back to normality. And realistically, I actually recovered quicker than what I would have if I wasn't metal detecting.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? So to me, it was such a huge encouragement from there. Do you know what I mean? For that mentally and physically for me.
Yeah.
And then just getting out and finding the whole history about it. I'm just totally addicted, Dave. Do you know what I mean? It's absolutely crazy. I'll get Scott up now.
I'm sure
and I'm like,
the physical therapy side of it, it's worked
definitely
astoundingly well. Yeah, I can, looking at people who've had strokes and putting 2 and 2 together and making 4 with the muscles you move in, the arm swinging, the having to bend down to dig, etc., etc. And I know that obviously took a while because Scott was doing the holes for you. Yeah, I can totally understand from what you say there. Makes perfect sense.
Exactly. But what a fantastic way to recover.
Definitely.
Absolutely fantastic. I mean, I actually said to him, you should bring it into your rehabilitation. Do you know what I mean? Send everybody out swinging.
Yeah, but they'd probably go other ways. Maybe not heal in the same way.
Yeah, I just want to say I wasn't being cheap on your birthday by getting you a 250, but when somebody's starting metal detecting, you don't buy them a 1,000-pound detector, and if they don't like it, you're stuck with it. It's that scenario that we all know about. So I got you the 250.
But you know what? Though that 250, that Ace 250 done really well.
Yeah.
Come on, you can't knock that. Do you know what I mean? I know it's everybody takes the mickey out of it, and it's the yellow stick and do you know what I mean, so forth. But it was actually a really good machine.
But as well as your fines, just think
yes.
of the money, that lower amount of money, what that's done just for your physical therapy alone. That's,
right.
And obviously upgraded since again and again.
Oh, yeah.
All helped.
All knocked the macro all the way now. All day, every day.
Yeah.
Knocked the macro every day.
Every day.
Yeah. Love that.
The game has changed, and so has the equipment, if you know what I mean.
I take it currently you're both using the Simplex.
We're both. Kim's got the Simplex now. I have another one coming, but we both have the multi-cruiser.
Yeah.
Which is a fantastic machine, you know what I mean?
Now,
it's good.
I ask you these questions as if I don't know, but obviously I do know, but I'm asking the questions as a listener's perspective.
Certainly.
So you're both using the Cruiser. Kimmie's using a Simplex, and you're about to go using the Simplex too.
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. And what
We're
are
trading
your
on-
really, because we're still really in its infancy, what are your thoughts on the Simplex?
Love it.
It's above and beyond what you
Yeah.
think it would be for a beginner's machine. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, definitely.
It's just banging.
Yeah.
It's incredible. The fold down capability, number one.
I love that.
At the multi cruiser's lowest stage, I can just get it in the back, lay it in the back seat, and not crush it with both doors.
Yeah.
Simplex, you can put it anywhere.
Mm.
Fold it right down, 25 inches.
In your handbag.
Yeah, it's a handbag detector.
Man
Put it in your
bag.
handbag. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's not that small, not unless you got a big handbag.
The first video I did, and nobody's going to do a review on it right away. If you did, I think it wouldn't be an honest review because you have to test these things for a while. Like you said, it's in its infancy. We haven't taken it to the beach yet, but what we've done is we've taken it to the fields. We know what depths we can get in. We can get with our machines and what type of land it is with mineralization. We know exactly what our dirt's going to do, so to speak. And it's just prevailed. And so the first video I did, will it find the things it's supposed to find? And the first time out, and it's a funny story because the first day Kim got her Cruiser, she found a silver hammer coin. So the first day out with the Simplex,
Kim,
what does she go and do again?
hammered coin, of course.
She finds another hammer coin. So, but the depth on these things and the signal it was getting was extremely audible for its depth. And you don't second guess this machine. That's all I'm going to say. There's confidence. There's a lot of confidence in it.
It's a very easy setup. Very easy setup.
Yeah.
The pinpointing on it is precise.
I never seen nothing like that pinpointer. That's a really good pinpointer.
Yeah, the pinpointing on it, Dave.
It's got a bullseye.
Yeah. That's exactly what it's like. It's like a bullseye.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And where that's pinpointing at, do you know what I mean? That's where it is. And I don't often use a pinpointer on a machine, but I thought, okay, just let me have a little go at it. And it pinpointed precise. Now, the day we were out with it, Scott had gone past me. We've got a sort of thing where he'll walk in one line and I'll walk in the other line. And sometimes we crisscross each other. But this day, he came over to my line, and I shouted at him. I went, "Oi, get off my line." And he found a coin just before me. I went, "Oi, get off my line. Stop pinching my coins." And he's like, "Nah, nah, 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 nah." And I went, "Okay, you stay there." So he's walked further down my line, and I've walked behind him with the Simplex, 24, solid, boom, boom, boom. And I went, "You walk past this solid signal?" And he went, "Yeah, but yeah, what?" Do you know what I mean? So I've dug it up, and it was the hammered coin, and I went, "In your face, that's what you get for getting him."
You do realise when you were saying, "Get off my line," then, with the Irish accent, you sounded like a farmer saying, "Get off my land."
Get off my land.
Yeah, get off my land.
I was trying not to let you hear me laughing. So other than the Fisher and the Garrett and the Macro Cruiser, what other machines have you used?
I haven't used any.
No, the Fisher. You had the Fisher.
Well, that's what he said. Yeah, the Fisher, the Garrett, and the Macro.
Cruiser.
We haven't. No, I haven't dabbled. I've used other people's machines. I've tried the Knox 800. I've used the Deus. It's just a little bit too chirpy and noise. I'm not going to insult the detector. It's just not for me because I didn't like the sound, so to speak. Because it's always buzzing and buzzing and buzzing. What have you tried? Anything else, Kim?
No, but I really want the Deus.
Yeah,
the Deus is my bucket lister.
Yeah.
Always has been.
You wanted it. What about the ORX, Kim? Have you seen that?
Yeah, I like the ORX.
Now that looks pretty. That looks pretty good, but
yeah, it looks a good machine.
I totally agree with you in that sense. I've said it before numerous times. Given the Rodney Cook Memorial Rally and Detectable, obviously I got to play with multiple machines.
Of course,
I've never used any of the Deuses personally, but of the two, the ORX seemed to the simplicity, the more simple nature than the XP attracted me because we know what I'm like with machines. So yeah, I'm exactly the same. That's my bucket list.
Yeah, I'm pleased with this. I just can't wait to see. I mean, like, I know Note the Macro keeps pumping these detectives out, and this is a phenomenal thing about them. I can't wait to see what they come out with next.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of different brands. You might be waiting a few years, but I know with this company you can look forward to something coming out soon.
Definitely.
You know what I mean?
Forward to seeing Kimmie walking around with the mini horde next.
Yeah, the mini horde. You know what? It'll probably fit her.
You know what, one day that's going to happen. I don't know when, but that is definitely going to happen. It's a must. Isn't it?
Is that a multi-frequency machine? That little mini horde. I'm not sure if it is.
No idea.
We
had Dilek on 2 weeks ago, and she said it herself. It's definitely coming, obviously, but with, again, the Simplex being in its infancy, and some of the issues they've had, which have now been more or less sorted out. Things take the time, and I'm sure they all need a little rest after this year. They need Christmas off, definitely.
Yeah, well, I'm small enough to use the mini horde anyway. So,
yeah, we met Dilek at Detectable. They were parked right next to the LP tent, which is where we spent a lot of time. And you noticed her right away. You know exactly who she is. You heard her voice from a distance. You knew who she was from being on the shows and everything. And I was like, there she is. That's Dilek. It's got to be Dilek. She was a treat, absolute treat. When she was on your show the other week, and now I thought I drank a lot of coffee. She was on one on your show. That was great. She's a lot of fun to listen to.
Lovely woman.
Full of information.
Oh yeah, and you know, when you meet her in the flesh as well, she's so more relaxed. When she's in an environment where she doesn't have to do what she does, when she's a little bit more relaxed.
Yeah,
she's lovely anyway, but she's an absolutely lovely woman. I can't speak more highly of her.
Good stuff.
Yeah, totally. I have to totally agree with you. It was an absolute pleasure for us to meet her.
Do you know,
it was good.
It's a pleasure, obviously, the last year from doing all metal mode since last Detectable, we've spoke to so many people, and it was nice, yourselves. We've never met face-to-face. I know you've met Luke numerous times being down south, but up here, obviously, I don't get to see a lot of people, and to see yourselves, it's a pleasure. And you were actually hanging around with people who I knew very well, Jackie Smith and John.
Jet Ski John, yeah.
So
we camped right next to them all weekend. We were camping with them.
Yeah. So profound how people I've met numerous times, spoke to numerous times. You have never met yet.
I'm surprised we haven't talked more, to be honest with you. I was very adamant about coming down to see you in the big tent, and I'm glad I did. I'm glad we met finally.
Me and Jackie went shopping.
And I think Kimmie might have been quite happy as well because she got a big cuddle.
Big cuddle? Do you know what, Dave? See me crack my back. I was like, oh my good God. I didn't feel 51 anymore. I felt like I was 21. It was great. Oh, it was lovely.
So
wasn't expecting
wheels across the field to the toilets.
I wish.
Dave's a tall man.
I
didn't know that.
I know.
6
and I was like,
I'm fat.
Yeah, like a big bear,
right.
like a big bear hug he gave me.
A big bear hug.
He just went around cracking my own. I'm like, oh.
Just in case you had back problems, you won't have any now.
I'd give Scott one as well, but he didn't turn up.
No.
My volume is very well. Let me just turn my volume up a little bit. Stephen, is that any better? Just turn my volume up a little bit. You both sound okay, he says, but I sound a little bit low. So, you've been metal detected now around 3 years, Kimmie a little bit less. Tell us about your favourite finds, not the one we'll go on to in a bit, Scott, the one that you've mentioned to me off air. But tell us about your favourite finds and the variety of what you've had.
Wow. I've gone from military, my goodness, to a seal matrix, which I think my seal matrix is one of my most favourites. Standing in the middle of the field, one of our ploughed fields. And the thing is, Dave, I always go by my gut instinct, always. And I'll sort of stand back and I'll look at field and I'll think, okay, Do you know what I mean? And I'll stay in that place. And Scott was way up this field finding his, and I wouldn't move from this spot. Clearly, there was a reason I found this seal matrix. I hadn't got a clue what it was when it came out, but it had this beautiful pattern on it. And when I come home and we cleaned it up, it was stunning. It was just absolutely stunning. I do have to register it, which I will. That was one of mine. And the other one is the Scouts.
Levat Scouts.
Yeah, that one.
The Levat Scouts badge. You want me to tell them a little bit?
What?
Okay. Well, we posted it. We're in the middle of a field, and we're just sitting there. We're taking a break, and she looks down to her left, right on the surface, and I thought it was a giant washer off a piece of tractor. Pick it up, and it said Levat Scouts on it. Well, apparently, we're supposed to have a deer head in the middle, which fell off it. But what it is, apparently, it's a rare regiment in the British Army. The Levat Scouts were Highlanders from Scotland, and the government brought them all together to form this little, whatever it is, regiment or whatever. Yeah. But they were the first military unit to create snipers. They were the first sniper unit in the British military.
Right.
And they were also the first people to invent the ghillie suits. So apparently it was like a small unit, and which makes this badge kind of rare to find, which was really cool.
Yeah. Military. I love as much as I love finding coins, do you? Do you know what I mean? I love military because I love the history.
Something was going on down where we hunt.
Oh, definitely.
We're in all sorts.
From different eras as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And it's kind of freakish that we find all these military badges down, and then she pulls up a Nazi badge with a swastika on it.
Yeah.
Go, oh, what really happened here? You know what I mean?
I think we found out there was a POW that was like 12 miles away from where we were.
Yeah, well, I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but you don't know. But that's the thing about metal detecting. You're creating history.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're painting that picture. You're telling that story.
Of course you are.
You know,
well, at the same time, don't you like creating your own stories? If you actually don't know, creating your own stories about the history that you've found, it makes that a lot more interesting as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Making up things as you go. You know what I mean? That's a blast. Like I'm thinking, like me, because our permissions are on a river, so I'm thinking maybe back in the day, you know how the Germans had the PT boats, and there's scattered carcasses of them all over the shoreline on the English Channel, and maybe they came up in the land, and they were actually on the land and coming inland on foot. You don't know. You just don't know. That's a scary thought. But I
think one of your favorites was when we went. We actually went on our first weekender, and it was with Luke, and when he first started up the page. If you remember when we went that weekender, and it was Scott's birthday. And actually, you found a bullhead, your first bullhead that day.
I found a silver coin that day.
Yeah, his first bullhead.
It was our first rally. When we first started metal detecting, we didn't know what to do. We had Facebooks. So we looked up metal detecting groups, and UK Dirt Fishing came up, which is Luke's group when it was young, and he only had like 300 members, and it was the only page we joined. We didn't join any others.
Yeah.
So every day we would put on we'd find a Vicky Penny, we'd post it on there. You know what I mean? Because we were so proud of our Vicky Pennies. It's when you're new in the hobby, this is a big thing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I found an old coin. You know, this is great.
I actually remember Kimmie contacted me about something. An identification of something went very, very not long after she'd started whatsoever. I can't remember what it was now, but she contacted me directly about that. It was a long time ago.
Wow. See, do you know what I mean? But the stuff that we have, Dave, honest to God, do you know what I mean? Thank God we're both metal detectors, because our back lean-to is just covered in buckles, gunshot shells, musket balls. Everything metal detecting is just out there.
Got a fish tank full of musket balls.
yeah. You know what I mean? But it's the banter. It's the banter that we have between each other, which makes it that little bit more fun. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I'll wind him up, or he'll wind me up, or you know what I mean? It is, and it's really it's good banter, isn't it?
It's good that I know a lot of guys metal detecting, their wives can't stand it. I consider myself lucky that I don't have to go through the struggle.
So you should.
Because when I first started it, you know how you leave your scrap piles laying around the house. Well, that wasn't happening there. Did you tell them what I brought home that one day?
Oh, Dave. Oh, my good God. Right, we're in South Wales. So Scott goes out to, doing his bit of metal detecting. And he comes home and he goes, "Look, Kimmie, I found the bomb." And I'm like, oh, my. Really never brought the part of the bomb.
It was it was a timer tip.
Yeah.
One of them timer tips.
So I actually had to phone up the police. Do you know what I mean? And can you picture me phoning up the police, living in South Wales with an Irish accent, and telling them that my husband's brought a bomb home to the house?
She grabbed the dogs. She grabbed the dogs. She told me to run out of the house. She ran out of the house, and we're all sitting on the street, and she's calling the police.
Crazy man. So, but that's a good memory. That's a real. Do you know what I mean? That's a memory that'll always be there, and it was just fun.
But the amount of time that you both spend metal detecting together, you think about that time spent not metal detecting together, and your relationship's probably better because of it. Otherwise, you'd end up sat around the house arguing.
True. Yeah, true. But if you watch sometimes, Dave, this is the thing. Do you know what I mean? If you watch sometimes, Dave, when we're out in the field, and if we're apart, like the last time I was out, I found a huge Roman coin. Do you know what I mean? And I do it on purpose. I actually video call him, and I screenshot his face because his reactions, and he's going, "Yeah, that's very nice," but you can hear him growling. You can hear him growling underneath his voice. You know what I mean?
I think she's got a little bit more of a touch to finding good things than I do. I'll admit it. But you know what? That's all right.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see. You say you think we spend more time together when we're in the field. Well, actually, when we the only time we spend is going to the field, and then we split. We're gone. Split. So I'm trying to. She won't pick up She won't use the walkie-talkies. I'm trying to get her to use a walkie-talkie, but she won't do it. I think she's enjoying the silence.
I think he splits because he doesn't want to dig my hose to find any more silver. But the land we have is rich.
Yeah.
The land we have is just, oh my goodness. Coming from South Wales down to Essex, Dave. My good goodness.
It's night and day.
Yeah.
It is,
in
honestly.
Wales, you had to work to find a hammered coin. And I mean, work your socks off. Silver's all day long, yes, but to find a hammered coin, you had to work. But coming down to Essex, then it's like, oh my good goodness. You know what I mean?
When we moved here, I said, I don't care what field it is. It doesn't matter what field. If it's in the middle of a town,
right?
It's in Essex.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's got to be better than what we had.
Exactly.
It's proven well so far.
So, you found something at Spring Detectable, Scott. Tell me about that.
Well, I'll give a little a warm up to the find. I think it was the first day. Everybody knows the Hemblenden hoard was found at Spring Detectable. 500-600 hammer coins, 12 plus gold nobles, I think it was. Well, initially, I was actually in that field when they found it. I was on the beginning part of the field, and I was actually going to the plowed field that was past it. I was walking this line, but I got a late start, and everybody was like maybe 10 minutes ahead of me. So Scotty B and his boys, they're all up ahead of me. And I hear screams of hoard. And, at a rally, the person can yell to the next person, "Hey, somebody found a hoard. Somebody found a hoard." And it got to me. And I can see Mark Betcher from the Metal Detectives group, his van zoom by me, going to the end of the field. So I'm walking towards it. Everybody's like congregating towards the area. And I got up to the tape line. And now it was just initially a circle of tape around these guys, probably 30 feet from center. And I said, well, I'm no fool. I'm going to swing around this tape line before something else happens, or they tape the whole area off, right? So I'm about halfway around the tape line, and I got a really good signal. And it was only like 4 inches down, and I pulled up this beautiful little silver pendant. And it had a black stone on one side. It was decorated. And I turned it over, and it had like this upside-down iris with a loophole. And I thought nothing of it. But considering where I was in location to the hoard, Alex Bliss was on site already in the tape line. And I said, "Hey, Alex, I just found this right next to the hoard." And he looked at it. He goes, "Oh, you're going to have to take that over to the tent. That might be treasure." So actually, the inquest was last Tuesday with the coroner, and it actually came back as treasure. And the Bucks Museum wants to acquire it, so I'm just waiting to hear from them guys, and that's going to be my first official treasure, which
Brilliant.
is absolutely awesome. I'm absolutely, mind blown with this little find. I'd really like to get it back, but for the sake of history.
I'm still not had treasure, and I've been, on and off since, with my dad in the 1970s through to starting again properly in the early 2000s. I've still not had treasure.
Wow, you're definitely overdue.
Telling me. Have you anything as exciting, Kimmie?
No, not declared yet. Not as good as what Scott has found.
Yeah.
We've got a small box of stuff that needs to go in.
Yeah, definitely. That needs to be looked at by the flow.
Mm-hmm.
One day, I keep saying one day. Like, one day we were out, Dave, and we were in one of our permissions, and I'm on one side, and I actually found a 9-carat gold Belcher chain. So I'm on this other side of this field going, gold! I'm going, yeah, one up on Kimmie, no. Doing it. Scott's on the other side, and he puts his hand up and he went, yeah, gold half sovereign.
We actually both found gold the same day, our first gold, in the same field. It was just one of those days that wasn't supposed to happen, and it happened. It was amazing.
Yeah, that was great. But one day,
what are the chances of that? Both find our first gold the same day.
But I just think I'm bucked, Dave. When I go on a rally, I find nothing. Honest to goodness, I find nothing. I think it's because I'm too busy talking to everyone. So but I find nothing. But every time I come home, I find something, right?
Yeah, it's nice to go on rallies for the social part. I think that's why we really do the rallies.
I do metal detect. I do metal detect, but I just don't find nothing.
I found my first Roman on a group dig.
Yeah, what was that? Was that spring detectable?
No, that was Mine Lab training weekend.
Oh, the training weekend, right?
Yeah, it was another weekender we spent with camping with Stephen Pettikin and Rob Random. That was a treat.
Yeah, it was lovely. That was lovely. What a lovely guy. What a lovely guy. What a talent he has, Stephen Pettikin.
Oh yeah. Oh, Stephen Pettikin. Yeah, he made us at Detectable. Stephen's a welder by trade. I think he's in the chat. I'm not sure.
Yes, he is. Yeah.
He's a welder by trade.
Hello, Stephen.
And he made all these fantastic trophies by hand, painted by hand. He gave them out to a lot of individuals.
Yeah.
I think it was first time out was Spring Detectable. He had some trophies, and then this Detectable, he gave us a trophy, and it's got 2 mini digging spades on it.
Yeah,
one really for Kim, cool. One for me, and it's really phenomenal.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
The weight in his car went down. Doing crazy. Sorry, Dave.
I'd like to see a picture of that, and he can make me one of a fat bloke if he wants as well. Fat bloke with a microphone.
Oh, you're not that big, Dave. Jesus, I seen you.
Not big, yeah.
I had a black T-shirt on, it makes me look smaller. Oh, no, I didn't, actually.
Just wear a big shirt. That's right.
I carry it well. I think Pete Terrell would actually argue different, but that's a different matter. So what was your initial reaction when you realised the significance of the silver pendant?
The pendant. Well, I actually had to end up doing research on it myself, which I think everybody's personal research can be much better than anybody else's, I think, that are looking in from the outside in. And the relevance of this was really, really important. Now, the back of this pendant, the insignia on it, was actually the logo. I don't know if that's the proper word, for the Chichester Cathedral. And there was only one other example of this insignia, and that is on a steel matrix. And this was during the time where King Henry III appointed bishops to the Chichester Cathedral and had these matrices made at that time. So there's a set, like Lord of the Rings. There was so many rings were made. There were so many of these matrices made, and there's no other example of this insignia except for on this pendant. So I think that has some really significant historical reference to the Chichester Cathedral. So I'm actually thinking about emailing whoever would be in charge of that, just to let them know I found something like this and where it is and what process it's going through, and maybe somebody can shine more light on it that way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Which is very, very interesting. You know what I mean? I've actually learned. I didn't know anything about British monarchs or a whole lot of history. Well, I knew the history between England and America,
Right.
of course. You know how that went. But I've actually learned. It was like going to school, metal detecting. I've learned about every single monarch in the sovereign through metal detecting. Every king, every queen. You know what I mean? You learn so much about them, and then you'll see something on TV, and like, here's something about the Crusades, or here's something about this king, all the Edwards, the reigns of the Edwards, and I've learned so much. I've absolutely learned tons and tons of history from metal detecting.
I hear there, didn't take any notice at school. Come away from school, metal detecting history and the other things that I've done. I'd pass my exams now.
Now you can pass your exams.
Yeah, exactly.
I could pass your exams.
Kimmie, I've got a question solely for yourself. How do you feel about seeing female detectorists grow in the hobby?
Oh, you know what, Dave? Do you know what I love her. There should be more. There should be more ladies representing this hobby. I think at first it was a very male-dominant hobby. And as the years are going on, you're seeing more and more ladies doing it. And it's lovely. Honestly, it's really, I think more pink camo should come in, but it's nice to see. Doing quite a few digs that we've gone on now, there's been quite a lot of ladies that's been there. And it's nice to see that it's not just a man's hobby. It's also a lady's hobby now. So yeah, go for the ladies. Yeah, definitely.
I remember,
and it's also not just an old man's hobby, how it's generally envisaged either.
There you go, young and old now. I mean, the amount of young, we actually met the young guy up in Spring Detective. First time we met him was in Spring Detectable. And he's a 16-year-old that has his own business. And he started off, he had a garret then, and got chatting to him up there. And he ended up buying the multi-cruiser from LP Promotions. And then last time we seen him, he said, "Oh, look, I got my multi-cruiser," and I went, "Oh, good on you." But 16 years old, and even younger still than that. I mean, the amount of videos that I'm seeing as well, where the fathers are taking their children out, their boys out, and the girls out. It's great, because to me, that, I mean, if they're metal detecting, they're learning our history. They go into that history class and show their history teacher, "Look what I just found."
Yeah.
How impressive, do you know what I mean? And it's just teaching our kids, like us learning about our history. Them kids are also learning about our history and the previous history. I love her. I just love her. I love seeing her. I love seeing women out metal detecting and kids.
Yeah.
we held an impromptu rally. It was like the day before. I'm like, you know what? We have 700 acres, Kim. Let's just invite some people. So I posted, I think it was on UKDF again.
Yeah.
I posted, "Hey, if anybody wants to come meet us, I got 700 acres of prime location." And the day before, and I think 18 people showed up, and the majority of the people that showed up were females.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah. Yeah.
They just came out of nowhere.
It was lovely.
It was good. It was a good day.
It was really lovely.
I think
Muddy ground, what lovely.
I think over 40 Romans come up that day too, between 18 people.
Yeah.
That was amazing. None for me.
Do you know, you mentioned about young people in the hobby. I've got to say the main thing that I've learned on a personal note is that my little lad, he's just turned 7. The bond that we've created, it's something totally different than I was expecting.
That's fantastic.
So on an emotional level, it is fantastic.
Exactly. That's my point, Dave. Do you know what I mean? Where you have that. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you look at I always looked at Luke and his wife out, and they take the twins out. Do you know what I mean? And I just melt seeing them kids out. I know they're not really metal detecting, do you know what I mean? But they're going along with Luke, do you know what I mean, and the family, and they're learning. They're actually learning, do you know what I mean? And I love it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, see, if my old man, if he metal detected, then I would probably have metal detected when I was young, but he worked on cars. So now I learned from my dad I can work on cars, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
So you learn from your elders, from your parents. It's things that you take with you for the rest of your life, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Life skills. That's what you learn.
And hopefully with what's occurring politically, there's a future for our children in metal detecting. There's not going to be any bans like is suggested from higher authorities. Hopefully that's not going to, and the younger generations will be able to do exactly the same.
This would be the worst country for that to happen. It would be such an uproar.
Yeah, it would.
It would
be such
devastating.
For the amount of people involved and the amount of fantastic archaeology that we've led people to, and the things that's on the portable antiquity, adding to history, it would be a travesty.
We're basically we're rewriting history. And I think they're afraid of change, and the more things stay the same, the more they're going to change. To be honest with you,
I mean, history changing straight away. All you need to say is Mike Smith and the Celtic Chariot. That's history changing for an entire nation.
Exactly.
That's a major scale change right there. I
love that.
And I've got an example of something small. We were in this little town called St. Ishmael in South Wales. All right, here you go. We were in this one little field. We started finding these Dutch customs tax seal trade tokens. Now, there's only 700 of them ever registered with the Peace Havens registry for these seals. They do Russian seals as well. Yeah. Kim found 12 of them. I found 4. No, so you found 8. I found 4. Right? And we also started finding French coins all around these Dutch seals. So we put 2 and 2 together and said, hey, the French were trading with the Dutch in this field off the coast of South Wales. Now, we went to the local historian. It's not written anywhere in the books. There's nothing about it on paper or spoken. And so now he's got proof that he can write a little bit of the town's history from our finds. So we've kind of made a little bit of history ourselves.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Which is really cool. Proud of that.
That's a total buzz. That's just bees fantastic.
It's just really strange.
Yeah.
It's just one little corner of the field, French coins, and these Dutch seals were coming up.
Yeah.
That is a fantastic story. So, moving on, when did you start making videos, and how did YouTube come about?
Moving on. Moving on,
because it's nearly 9 o'clock, so I'm cracking on.
Cracking on? Is it really 9 o'clock? Almost 9 o'clock. All right. Well,
talking, man.
I know. YouTube. Let's just say there was really. I mean, posting pictures of finds on Facebook page is one thing, but pushing record on video is another thing. Is another way of showing the history being recorded. Some things aren't important enough to be turned into the FLO, but they're important enough to see, like this little story I told you about. There's a video about that. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's another way of us saving history. So I thought, hey, what a better platform to put it on than YouTube. Let's try YouTube. We were happy with 20 subscribers and 10 views. Yeah. We reached 10 people. We were pleased with that. You know what I mean? We had the camera on sideways. It was an old Samsung and it was blurry. And it didn't matter. We were doing it. We're just doing our part, really. That's the main.
And it's about sharing our finds.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about. That's the exciting part for me, is just sharing our finds, what we find. And it could be something trivial, Dave, and then something significant. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But it's just that whole point of sharing it and sharing history and just, do you know what I mean? It's lovely.
It's not about being it's nothing being a celebrity about it. There's nothing like that about it with us. I mean, the videos we make today are the same as the videos we made years ago. It's just click and record in the field and sharing it with the world. Whoever wants to see it, they can come see it. But we have grown from 20 subscribers, and I think we're knocking on 1,400, which is great, which means we're reaching more people and sharing more history.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, the only thing that's changed is a little bit more editing involved.
I'm all
Sorry, Kimmie, carry on.
You're right, sorry, Dave. I'm all about supporting each other's channels. That to me is very important. Do you know what I mean? It's not about, like Scott said, it's not about being a celebrity. It's not about this higher status. It's about acknowledgement to each other and sharing each other's history. Do you know what I mean? And supporting each other's channels, really. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sure.
And now
Sure.
you are both a big part of Team Leisure Promotions.
We are.
We're a very proud part of Team Leisure Promotions. We're of the choice few that have been honored with the
And what a pleasure.
with the title. Absolutely.
Yeah. What a pleasure. Pete's a lovely guy. Do you know what I mean? He is, and Ash is just lovely. Do you know what I mean?
It's just one big happy family. It really is.
It is.
If you know, I mean, you can see each person individually, but when we're all together, it's a really good time. It's a blast. We don't see each other often. Like it takes maybe major events like the Detectivals to get us all together.
Yeah.
We still haven't had our group photo yet, which I'm insistent on. We had an opportunity to do that before. We didn't do it yet.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And Pete very often comes into our live shows, Dave, and sometimes when we do a giveaway, Pete will pop in and say, yeah, there's a £50 voucher. Do you know what I mean? I'll give that away. And do you know what I mean? So that appreciation from us.
And you don't have to. You don't have to.
Exactly.
He does. I think one of the things I really enjoy about Leisure Promotions is Pete. I'll say it again, Pete Terrell, which I think you may have as a guest on in a couple of weeks. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
He is involved socially.
Exactly.
With a lot of people and a lot of things and everything going on. He's very interactive with the metal detecting community. Now I look at that and I appreciate that.
Exactly.
From a dealership.
Right.
You know what I mean? They're in touch with not just the customers. They're in touch with, and they listen. He listens and he sees, and he keeps up to date with everything that's going on in the world. And now that's something I want to be part of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, the future. It's the wave of the future. So, and that's how that all started.
I'll give him his due. He is a nice person, very nice person. He's supported myself and Luke significantly. I've got a lot of time for Pete, and I'm not just saying that. I've got a lot of time for Pete.
Yeah,
and he's a funny guy.
Where am I? So,
where are you?
Tell me. Final question: what do you both love most about metal detecting?
I'll leave that with you, Kim. Go ahead.
One, it's history. Two, it's fresh air. Three, I can put my headphones on and not hear Scott nagging me all day long. Four, it's time out. You're away from everyday stress, the bills, this. The minute you put them headphones on, Dave, your world changes. And you just go for digging history, and that's it. Do you know what I mean? That's my love. That's my passion, and I adore it. I absolutely adore metal detecting.
I do it. I'll be honest with you. I do it. Where I'm from like 9 million people in 25 square miles. So to me, just to be out in the middle of a field alone and just hear a bird. And hear the wind going through the trees, and that's my big break. It means I've gotten away from that. I've been there, I've done it, I've gotten away from it, and I'm doing something. I'm not old. I'm getting on in life.
You're old.
No.
So I'm taking. How old are you?
The big 50.
Yeah, he's old.
I've crossed the threshold.
You're old.
But it's just serenity. It's just a relaxation.
Exactly.
Honestly, and what a better hobby to pick up and do it. Why not? Why not? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
I've just come up with another question that I'm going to throw in, Scott, directly for yourself.
Sure.
Do you think you would have enjoyed metal detecting as much as you do if you were back home in the US?
You know what? I don't. They go crazy for them wheat pennies over there. I don't know what's going on. If I ever went, let's just say if I ever went back to the States, I wouldn't metal detect. To be honest. Now, and I'm not trying to put the American finds down. They find a lot of crazy American history, like the Civil War stuff and all that crazy stuff. But there's just, you're not going to find what you find over here. And I think I've been spoiled for choice. Anything else would not be as exciting for me. But I never did detect when I was over there. I only started when I was over here. But
I think when and if you do go back to the US again, and I'm sure you've got multiple contacts over there and multiple people who would, you know, give you the time to go out and about in an area local to where you'll be. You know, it's something I think you need to try.
Yeah, definitely.
I would do it just to do it, because I think it's so much part of my life right now. It's commonplace. It's my hobby now. It's something I don't think I could ever escape, to be honest with you. So
because you've been spoiled here.
Yeah, but still the hunt will still go on. You know what I mean? I'll still be looking for the next thing, the bigger, better deal.
And with him being American, Dave, do you know what I mean? He's just ballistic over our history here, our British history.
Yeah.
So he's more psyched. Do you know what I mean about it? Do you know what I mean when he was first even starting?
I'm finding stuff older than my country, and it's a common occurrence.
Yeah.
It happens like every time I go out. I'll find a 1600s coin. That's just bingo, older than my country, bingo.
But the crazy thing is, we've actually found 3 now American coins.
She just found an American quarter on the last hunt.
Yeah.
Out, and it's the first time she's ever found an American quarter. She's found
I found the dime. There's no the seated Liberty dime.
These American seated Liberty dime.
The last time I was out, I've got one myself, an American coin.
Did you?
Yeah, and I think it's in 1938.
All right.
It's got, I think, George Washington looking to the left.
Like a nickel?
I don't know.
Maybe?
No idea. It's about the size of an English modern current 10p. I'm looking at it now. You just reminded me as we were speaking.
George Washington. So that might be a 25-cent piece.
I'll have to...
Quarter.
Quarter, yeah. I think it is a quarter.
Yeah,
you found it, yeah.
Does it have an eagle on it?
It's got an eagle with its wings spread on the reverse,
That's exactly what I just found the other day.
Mad, innit?
Yeah, yours might be like 40 or 90% silver, though. So there's the difference.
It's mad how many coins from different denominations, with sort of currencies around the world. I mean, when you spoke before about finding the Nazi things, I found 2 Reichspfennig, all very peculiar how we end up over here. I found, there was the story of my gold coin find once, which I sent to a dealer for him. This is before I knew people on the internet, on Facebook or whatnot, to ask for his advice, and he got all very happy and jumpy, and I'd found an 1895 Dutch gold coin. Can't remember what the amount was. And when he asked me to send him images, he was, I'll give you this money, I'll give you that one. I'm like, nah, I'm all right, mate. And he emailed me back and he said, actually, I've looked closer at the picture, and underneath the Queen, in very minute letters, was COPIE. Copy.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my goodness.
So my gold dance I had to take back.
Oh, man. But you had that feeling, though, for a moment. That's great.
Yeah, but then I had to take it back, so it's been spoiled.
Oh, it was a copy, Kim. Gold coin copy. Too bad it wasn't made of gold.
For our listeners, could you tell us a little bit more where to find your Facebook group? And I've just subscribed. For some reason, I wasn't subscribed, but I thought I was. To your YouTube channel.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you.
We are... it's Dirt Diggers UK. You could just punch it in, search Dirt Diggers UK. You can even type in Hunter's Kimmie, because the old channel name has changed, but the search engine still works the same. We are on YouTube, and we have a Facebook group. It's Dirt Diggers UK. You can search that as well. What we do is if we have videos that are too short or not YouTube worthy, I will exclusively post these videos on the Facebook group so members can see it. The best of both worlds, you know what I mean? We're starting to do live streams once a week on Friday nights, late Friday nights. So it's going to be 18 plus because we are a family friendly channel. We do not swear on our YouTube channel, or cuss or smoke or none of that stuff. So all age groups can watch it. We're user friendly, but the chats can get a little fun, and that's why I marked them 18 plus due to certain participants.
Mention a new name.
Yeah. But yeah, those are our social sites is YouTube and the Facebook. Oh, we also have an Instagram page, Dirt Diggers UK. That's just recently started like a month ago. That's up and running. I'm posting lots of pictures. I'm a little bit behind the times with all the stuff. There's Instagram and there's the Twitters and all the stuff. And I'm still working on Facebook and YouTube.
yeah.
I hear that. I mean, luckily I've connected the magazine to Twitter, so all it's every time we publish something, it automatically goes out on Twitter anyway. So I don't look at Twitter otherwise. Leave that to run itself. Instagram, I forget I've got it, and occasionally pop up and put something on. But well, Facebook. Oh yes, thank you, Mr. Facebook. What did I receive today on the Facebook page? Luke contacted me, Dave, something's gone wrong with the Facebook page. So I've just been on Not Before the Show, and your limits have been placed on the Archaeology and Metal Detecting magazine. Your page has been blocked from sharing links. The link is temporary and expires on Wednesday the 13th of November at 16:13. Stories from your page are not being shown in newsfeed. This could be due to activity from your page that doesn't comply with Facebook policies.
Whoa.
No idea what we've done this time.
Oh, no, not again.
Again. And it hits us every time, and you contact Facebook for a, please don't do this, be nice, and nothing happens, no feedback whatsoever, and it all stays the same. So no idea what we've done, but I think everything that goes on there, again, as you've just said about family friendly, exactly the same thing, because I know for a fact there's several young people who have jumped the Facebook age limit fence who were on there, so I have to keep it nice for that reason. Yeah,
I've seen Facebook block posts of an aubergine.
Yeah. Do you know?
Because
I've got a personal ban. Right. We published a post 2 weeks ago, which was of a North Wales, some of their current treasure finds. And the main picture was a picture of a ring, very looking like the Lord of the Rings ring on the image. And it was a BBC article, so, hey, BBC isn't going to be, well, probably will be fake news, but you know where I'm coming from. And I've been banned from sharing in groups because apparently that doesn't comply with Facebook policies. So they're saying it was fake news, basically, on my information. Fake news from the BBC. So, hey.
That's amazing. I don't know where they're coming up with these. So
do you think someone's reporting it?
I don't know. It's people are silly.
It's potential. Anyway. That's about it for tonight. I can't thank you both enough for coming on and talking about everything. It's been a pleasure to learn more about your history outside of metal detecting, the things that I don't know, because obviously I don't get to spend time with you personally, like Luke's met you personally on numerous times. So it's been great to actually learn how you met, how you started metal detecting.
Yeah, thanks for having us on, Dave. It's been an absolute pleasure for us as well. You know what I mean? We're just glad to share as much as we can about us with you and your audience.
So tomorrow, when I'm unbanned, I'll be sharing the show around, because I will be able to. That's one of the downfalls, is obviously we can't promote the show as much as I'd like. So obviously tomorrow I'll do that. So it'll end up being not as many live listens this week as it normally would be. I think because that's hit us a little bit, but hopefully the hits will be up there, because we are getting very consistent now, and there's a lot of people listening. So to those who are listening, really do thank you a lot. It means a lot that you do listen, and obviously all the feedback up to now has been good. We've seemed to have finally fixed all the problems with the sound. The quality for this show should be the best yet, I'm hoping. And again, Scott and Kimmie, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah, thank you, and congratulations on the new show and all your success and future success. It's people like you doing shows like this that help this hobby out, and kudos to you for that. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Thank you both. That means a lot. And obviously we will be in communication lots of times in the future, no doubt. We'll hopefully see each other. One day I'm actually going to turn up and surprise Luke at one of his digs, so hopefully you'll be there then. I might even tip you off I'm going down, because it's like a 5-hour drive. I've got one last thing. I've got an article being published tomorrow, so I'll be able to share the information. But this is quite a hard-hitting article from a gentleman called Andrew Castleton, and the article is basically a bit of a counteraction to how archaeologists view metal detectorists, and I'm expecting a lot of intense feedback on the article, but it's something that when I read it, I realised how correct each and every word in it was. So please look out for that tomorrow. Honestly, you'll read it and you'll be, oh, he's so right. How's he said that? And the archaeologists, I'm sure, I'm trying to bring the two together, but it's I don't understand. Sorry,
I don't understand the rift. I really don't understand why there's a rift. We're all in it together for the same reason. You may do it different than we do it, but you know what? We're doing it together. So
yeah,
it's all on the ground, man. It's all on the ground.
It is. It certainly is. And this is what basically it states. And I do try my hardest to bring the two communities together. And there are so many attacks from people in certain areas of archaeology that this is a bit of counteraction to them, really. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens on the release of this article tomorrow. Anyway, Scotty and Kim, again, thank you very, very much for coming.
All right.
Thank you again to everybody in the chat room, Tony, Scotty B, Steve Pettican, and Pete Terrell. Also, can I point you out to the Archaeology and Metal Detecting Magazine website, the Facebook page, Twitter and Instagram. On Facebook, please look out for the All Metal Mode UK and Big Metal Detecting Podcast Facebook page. All your information on the show. Thank you to Treasure Hunting Magazine, Leisure Promotions, Rectons, North of Time Metal Detecting Club on Facebook, South Coast Detecting, Metal Detecting Media Facebook, Southeast Metal Detecting Rallies, Steve Pettican, and all the listeners and those. I've actually penned this to me board, so I never forget to do it every week. Thank you to each and every one of you. I'm Dave Sadler. That was Scott and Kimmie. Good night.
Thank you so much, Dave.
Cheerio. Hip hip.
The Archaeology and Metal Detecting magazine acts as a hub for information, offering articles from archaeologists, detectorists and other specialists throughout the genre, featuring many links, event info and news articles associated to archaeology and metal detecting. We also offer professional review services and promotion for books, resources, videos, documentaries, gadgets, equipment and much, much more. The magazine is run by the archaeological and metal detecting community for the archaeological and metal detecting community. So come visit us at archmdmag.com, that's archmdmag.com, and check out information from our media section with all the latest content, news from the Archaeology channel, podcasts and the YouTube channels that feature the now legendary Digger Dawn, The Man with the Hat and Archeo Duck, just to name a few. If you would like to offer an article, link or inquire about other services, then pay us a visit at archmdmag.com and drop us a line.